If you have a dog that loves to chase and jump on kids, this can be a problem whether they're small or large. But particularly if they're the size of Big London here, you could be getting yourself into some trouble if they do any jumping that you don't want. Now, Jag, you have a few issues with London. What's going on?
Massive. I think probably the biggest issue is that he still does not know his size. He still thinks he's this big. So when we go to a park, it's like you see a child and he gets excited. He just wants to play, and off he goes, and he basically runs and bowls them over. All he wants to do is play. But, you know, it's daunting for the parents.
Absolutely.
I don't blame
And it's
them.
a big recall issue, isn't it, Trish?
Yeah, especially with a dog this size. And, you know, I think you're very lucky that London is actually just a big, friendly buffhead.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Sorry,
but,
mate.
no offence, London. But certainly a dog that's bounding up to any child can be frightening, especially, you know, the whole movement. And then, of course, when the dog jumps up, that's an issue as well, because it can knock over the child and injuries, etc. So I think one of the things that you would probably, or one of the best things we can do for London is teach him a really good recall. And a recall is to coming when called.
Do what they're meant to do.
So what's probably going to need to happen is you need to change some of the things that you do with him, especially when you're in the training phase of the whole process. So when you're teaching him to come when called, it's minimising the off-lead romps, it's keeping him on a long line, it's working the recalls and practicing the recalls. So rather than just having him out running, chasing and whatever he's doing and leaving him to his own accord, I would like you to get a little bit more control and put him on a lead and work the recalls. If you do that enough times, you're going to get a dog that starts to come back. So when you do see children in the background and you think, oh, he might just go and run after them, you can at least rely on that recall. Use the recall, he comes back to you, he gets rewarded for doing so, and so you start to put the value more on you rather than on jumping on children. All right, Jag, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the process of teaching a dog to come when called. It's called a recall. Yep. There are a few different steps that we have to work on before we put it all together. And of course, the main key is practice. But the first thing I want you to do is we're going to condition a sound or even a name or a word that he's going to respond to. So if he's running or he's on the loose, you need to be able to either call his name if he's conditioned to that, or use a sound that that's going to stop him in his tracks, turn him around, and at least you've got some attention from him. One of the best ways to do that, we can use a whistle, something like this, or you can just use his name. So for today, I think we'll just use his name.
Sure.
And we'll condition that. So the easiest way to condition him to respond to his name is by playing the name game. And what we do is we say his name, and then we run backward a little bit, so we create the behaviour that we want, and we run back, so we actually want him to come in fast, because that's going to be the recall at the end, and that's what we're going to be reinforcing. I just don't want to reinforce that jumping at the moment.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we put ourselves a little way, and I'm going to London, London, and you can use your tone of voice that you normally use, London, and then London. Yes, good dog. London. London. Yes, good dog.
So you got to pull him towards you.
Yep, I am at this stage if he's not listening. Yes, London. London. And then I'm going around this way. London. So what this does is it starts to condition him to respond to his name.
Sure.
Okay. Now once I've done a few repetitions of this, then I can start giving him a little bit of a longer line, and then I'm going to start adding the word come, which is the actual command that I want him to do, okay? So it'll look a little bit like this. So if he's just distracted or even just standing there, this is a good one. London, come. Good pup, yeah, good boy. And his reinforcement should be a good 15 seconds.
Okay.
So he needs to know that it's got some really good value. Okay, and you can use a toy or a ball if he likes that as well. Swap it around for treats and toy, so he doesn't actually know what's coming. It's a little bit of a surprise. If we keep them guessing, we keep them keen. So the main thing is to run backwards, which actually creates the recall, the coming when called, and then you are reinforcing the behaviour. So running backward entices him to chase you, and that's the main thing. So run backwards, so London, come, yay! And make it all a big happy experience. When he gets there, he gets a reward, he gets a treat. Do that often. It's important that you practice, because it doesn't just happen with 2 or 3 goes. You've got to practice as much as you possibly can.
Gotcha.
Even after our short session, London was definitely showing potential. However, Jag is still working on the recall and maintaining London's attention when there are children around. If you're looking for a qualified and experienced dog trainer to help you, visit the NDTF website. Well done, London. Well done, Jag. We'll get there.
Thank you.